This week on the podcast, it's part 2 of my Walt Disney World trip report. The family arrives. That's right. My sister Becky returns to Walt Disney World and I get to spend some time with them before I move on to the next phase of my vacation. Stay tuned for all the details. You're listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. Hi, I'm Francine.
And I'm Carrie.
We're two best friends who can't stop talking, usually about Disney stuff.
Sometimes we have fascinating guests, and sometimes it's just us, but it's always positive and fun.
We're happy to have you join our chat. Thanks for listening, and let's get started. Hello, pal.
Hi, friend. You called me pal. You're supposed to call me friend. I'm supposed to call you pal, or is it the other way around?
I didn't know we had rules. You got a friend in me. How's
Hi.
it going? Hi. What's happening?
Not much. What's shaking? Just the regular.
Just the regulars? Oh, Carrie, we're on trip report number 2 here this week.
Yes, we are. And I'm excited to hear
Are
some
you?
more. Yes.
You're like, I don't know that my trips are that exciting, but
Sure it is.
you think?
The whole time, the last leg when you were away, I kept thinking of things to ask you, but then I never wrote them down, so then I can't remember any of them.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I was like, oh, that would be a good question for Fran. Oh, I wonder this. Oh, I wonder that.
And then you
But then
wrote
I
none of
never
it down.
So we'll see how we do when we get to part 3. Maybe by then I'll remember them.
Oh my gosh.
Probably not, though.
Oh, Carrie. Yes, we're on part 2, but I am home.
You're
So I am home.
Home sweet home.
Home sweet home. And so that's good. That I'm home. We're recording this, so it's not a laptop recording. But before we even get started on the trip report, Carrie,
Oh, yes.
we have reviews.
Sweet.
Sweet reviews. I love it.
We remembered.
And we remembered, which is like another big deal.
Almost
for
as
us.
sweet as the reviews.
Yeah. So do you want to read one and I'll read the other, or what do you want to do? Okay.
Sure, I'll read. Do you say who did them first, or do you say at the end?
I don't think anybody cares if you say it before or after.
Okay, this is Apple Podcast review from Nicole. Why not one?
Nicole,
Right?
Why not one?
Yeah. For about the 7 Things to Know episode, and she gave us 5 stars.
Woohoo! Yay!
Hey, listen to this episode while on lunch. Francine, when you said you used your app to find your way back to your room at Saratoga Springs, I laughed so hard. Last time I stayed at Port Orleans, I got so turned around at night from the bus to my room that I had to study roof lines in life and in the app to find my way back. Glad I'm not the only one.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
You got a friend in Nicole. See,
I do. You know what? And I totally can relate, because you remember even when we stayed at Port Orleans, I was forever like, Carrie, are you sure this is the way we're going? And you're like, yes, our room is this way. So that is very handy dandy on the app.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to find your way around. So I'm glad it's not just me.
I don't think so. I think there's lots of people that can get lost at those resorts.
Yeah. So thanks, Nicole. That was awesome. Thanks for leaving us the review. Cool.
Your turn.
Okay. And we got a second one. This one is from Marla in CA via Apple Podcasts in the United States.
I didn't say the other one was Canada.
Oh, the other one was Canada. See, we have Canadian listeners. We have U.S. It's awesome.
Canada.
Ta-da. So Marla via Apple Podcasts, the title of her review is Content Guaranteed to Make You Smile. And she gave us 5 stars. That's so nice. Woohoo. Okay. The review is, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for creating such a great podcast. Definitely a highlight of my week, and usually one where I'll listen more than once. You both just bring joy to the podcast airwaves. where while the length of the podcast is perfect, it just makes one wish the podcast was a little longer because it's like being in a room with friends. Laughter and the friendship you both share just brings the magic with us all. Oh, thank you, Marla. And see how she says the podcast length is good. I think we're getting good with the length, because I think in the past, Carrie, we droned on for like way too long.
Too long.
You think?
Probably.
Maybe a little. So that was nice. Thank you so much, Marla. And we're glad that you listen. Yay. So, Carrie.
Now back to your story.
Now back to the story.
Where we left off at the last episode?
Well, we left off that we were going to talk about when my sister arrived, because it was kind of like the before family trip and the after family trip.
Right.
Which, because they are very different trips. Just saying.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. And I don't know what I can say, because I think that Jean and Becky both listen. But I know they're both far behind in the podcast, so by the time this airs, maybe they won't be so mad at me.
There'll be something
by
else.
The time there'll be something else they're mad at me for. But it's a very different kind of stress when you have like people that you're vacationing with. Like you know me in my alone time. So my family did arrive.
And this was Becky's return to Walt Disney World.
Yes. So for newer listeners that maybe don't know the story, long story into a couple of sentences. My sister was diagnosed with leukemia over a year ago, and not sure how it was all going to play out. Lots of chemo, radiation, blah, blah, blah. They said she could have a bone marrow transplant. She had one. It basically wipes out your entire immune system. And gives her a new one. Fun fact, I was the donor, so she has my immune system. So I like to tell her that it's better than the one she had before. So she had to wait until her immune system came back. She had to get all her COVID vaccines again, her tetanus, diphtheria, blah, 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 all of those.
All the stuff like when you're a baby.
It's like she's a newborn baby. And they celebrate it like a new birthday. So her birthday, quote unquote, was a week after she got to Disney. That's cool. Yeah, so this was a big deal. She was a little nervous about flying, understandably. So our sister Jean and her husband Mike drove Becky down.
Road trip. They drove down to Walt Disney World, and then they were going to spend a week at the beach afterwards. So basically, that's where they are right now. Weren't they?
Right now, as the time
is getting recorded.
At the time of this recording.
At the time, people get it. Just because you're a Pixie Dust fan mug post, she posted her mug, and I was like, "Is that a beach in the background? Is it?"
Yeah, it's true.
Or it could be a Disney resort, though. I never really thought about that, but
yeah, no,
maybe it was like the beach club.
They're at the beach now. So they arrived, I guess on the Saturday or the Friday night, and we timed it. So she was messaging me saying what time she was going to arrive, and it was pretty emotional. Like, so I took a lift over or bus, I can't remember, and I was at Bay Lake Tower sitting outside on the bench when they pulled up.
No.
So this was her first, and it's funny because when they got out of the car, I said to them both, did you both do like I See the Contemporary? Because my dad did that with the three of us. So yeah, we had a nice little hug and a nice little moment. And they had a split stay at Bay Lake Tower. So the first night was a separate reservation from the other 3 or 4 nights they had, and they had put them in a theme park view. An accessible studio in theme park view. So she got to watch the fireworks from the balcony that night. It was pretty emotional. Like she was fine until like maybe the last couple minutes of the fireworks. And then I look over and she's bawling. It was pretty spectacular.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome. I had said to them I didn't know how much time I was going to spend with them, but I ended up spending quite a bit of time with them, really.
You did park time and
And dining reservations. They had some good dining reservations. So
any signature dining, by any chance?
Oh yes, and I was telling them about you and your signature dining at California Grill. They did brown derby after I left. But so yeah, it was pretty cool to have her there. She had rented a scooter, so that was good for getting her around. But they were really focused on just taking it easy, doing a few things. They bought Genie Plus a few times to try and get through some of the attractions. But I mean, like my sister Jean is I'm not going to say her age on the podcast, but like they're not spring chickens. They're older than me. So they're not going hard in the parks. They're not park warriors. They're just kind of leisurely strolling through and seeing things. It's been a long time since Jean and Mike were there. So it was good.
Like, there would have been a lot they had never seen before, right? Like
they'd never seen Bay Lake Tower.
Oh yeah.
So when they arrived,
it's been a real long time.
Jean's like, this isn't exactly what I was picturing. I'm like, what were you picturing? She's like, I was picturing what she had in her brain of Bay Lake Tower was the old garden wings. I'm like, Jean, like the garden wings were all there in the 70s. Why? Remember, it's a new tower. I was clearly she wasn't listening to me when we were talking about it. But yeah, so it had been a long time since they were there. So that was kind of fun. Mike is he's a Star Wars guy. So Galaxy's Edge was a big deal for him. They did that after I left, so I didn't get to experience it with him. But from what I hear, he was completely blown away with Galaxy's Edge. They did do Tron.
I was just going to say that I saw there's some photo evidence on the social medias that they did Tron.
Isn't it crazy, Carrie? So I wasn't sure. And she's like, well, our friends Carol and Gary did Tron. And so Becky's like, well, if Carol and Gary did it, I should be able to do it. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I figured her and Jean would sit in the back and Mike would ride the bike. But Jean decided she was getting on the bike too. She had the same issue, getting her leg up over the bike. But Becky sat in the back and they loved it.
That's awesome. The picture's awesome.
Yeah, they loved it. So that was a pretty big deal, getting them on Tron. And they did like Flight of Passage as well. And they did not. So Becky did not do Guardians of the Galaxy. Jean and Mike did. They did that after I left. And I messaged them and said, so? And the feedback was they didn't like it. They didn't know it's fun. I'm like, I told, like, this is just further evidence my family does not listen to me when I speak. Because I did tell them that. But so they didn't really like Guardians either. Yeah.
Love it or hate it.
It's a love it or hate it. And they did not. They did not enjoy. They did not. What else was happening? So we did California Grill. So the menus changed since you and I experienced it. But it was really good. Steakhouse 71, fabulous. As always.
Say, hello, Francine, your regular table.
You would think. And so yeah, I did spend quite a bit of time with them in the parks and stuff at Magic Kingdom. Had a friend down there from work who I got to run into as well. So I was like completely busy, Carrie. Like every day I was on the move and
you were on the move, you were moving, you were shaking, you were meeting fans, you were meeting friends, you were meeting everybody.
Carrie, it was kind of crazy. So did we talk on the last podcast? I don't think I talked about going to Fantasmic with the girl that messaged me from down there. So there was a Pixie Dust fan that came to meet me at Hollywood Studios, which was fantastic. I met another one in line for the bus, which was kind of funny. And like, yeah. Oh, and another one over at the Outer Rim, Carrie. we were sitting having a drink at the Outer Rim, and someone came up and was like, hey, can we interrupt for a second? It was fun. So I really enjoyed. I was very happy. She was one of the people that messaged me and said she saw us in December and didn't want to come up to us and interrupt us. So I had messaged her back and said, don't do that. Like if you see it, say something. So she did, which was nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you have any good desserts while you were there? Did
Carrie,
you talk about the merch you bought? Like, did you buy
Carrie,
any special merch?
I did
What? Do you
not
have a
have,
confession?
I do. I did not have a
I,
single,
Francine, did not Pixie Dust fan.
did not have a single cupcake while
How's
I
that
was there.
possible?
I
You
don't
did.
know.
You did. What didn't
No,
you? What was?
where?
Didn't you
No,
get something one of your first days that was the Easter Bunny thing?
what Easter Bunny thing? No, I
It
did
was
not.
like it was 2 for 1.
Oh, that was a cake. That was just a piece of cake. It wasn't a cupcake.
I don't know. I think that's a if it's a cake and it's got icing, but it's just not in a cup.
Well,
I think it's still
but it was okay.
it's a
So I guess
deconstructed cupcake.
okay, maybe it's a deconstruct, but it really wasn't that great. So what?
So that's why you erased it from your memory.
I did. So you know what it was? It was at the Grand Floridian. You know how they had like that little Easter display, and they had a shop that was selling cakes, but that was the last day of the shop. So it was like they were trying to get rid of the old merch, and it was a 2 for 1. And I was chatting with the cast member there about the renovations at the Grand Floridian. And then she's like, "Do you want some cake?" And I'm like, she says it's 2 for 1. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I was going
my
back.
arm.
Twist my arm. But it wasn't really that good. So they're working right now on the 2 outer buildings at the Grand Floridian, doing the updates there. But then next they're moving into the main building.
Wow.
And yeah. So she said it's been pretty hush hush. They don't know what's coming. She did hear that they're getting new carpet. Yeah, which could be interesting. And they all the cast members, they're kind of speculating different things, like what colors it'll be. Will it be all the white? I think it'll be white, but she thinks there's going to be a lot of blue in it, just based on the way that they did the bar upstairs, like the Enchanted Rose and Citricose. It was not Citricose Narcoosse's. Those have like touches of blues throughout them, and some of the rooms do. So but who knows? Like, it's just some lady talking to me randomly in the thing. You never know, but it's fun to speculate. So that should be coming soon to the Grand Floridian, and she was like, "How are they going to do the renovations? Because you can't have people staying in the rooms if they're going to be working on the foyer overnight." In the building.
Maybe they just won't have it built. Maybe they just won't occupy it and move quick.
Yeah. Yep. So that was a fun conversation. So yeah, that was really my only cake. That was like my only cupcake. I did buy a s'mores that wasn't it was okay at my gift shop over at the Contemporary. Carrie, but my new addiction, I went back 3 times for these things. Sunshine Terrace, Magic Kingdom, Adventureland, pot stickers with ginger sauce.
Oh, 3 times.
3 times. Honest to goodness, Carrie, I never knew that they had like foodie snack like that. I always thought it was just the ice creams, and I didn't realize that they had like food.
How did you come across this then?
I was stopping for water. And then I saw the menu. They had a little picture of the pot stickers. And I was like, oh, I kind of like pot stickers. And I was a bit hungry, but it was hot and I was feeling a bit nauseous. And then I saw it was like a ginger sauce. So I'm like, well, ginger makes you feel better. That's why Gravel's ginger. So, so I had it the first day. And then I was like, these are really good. So I went back 2 more times.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, if they were good, then
they were very good.
You didn't get a Dole Whip or anything to wash them down, or?
I did not. Like, it was staying at Old Key West was a bit different for me because there was no going to the gift shop at the end of the day or the quick service at the end of the day to take something back to the room, because it meant I had to get off the bus and then I had to get back on the bus to go to my room. Whereas sometimes at the hotels, when you stop the bus at the front, like, think about if you're a Pop Century, you got to walk through the food court to get to your room.
Pretty much.
So you grab a cupcake or cheesecake, a slice of pizza, like whatever on your way back to your room. People are like, oh my God, Fran, how much do you eat? But seriously, like that didn't happen at Old Key West for me.
Right. Because, yeah, you'd have to wait for the bus to get way back to the...
Exactly. So sometimes like the end of the night treats that I would normally get, I was like, forget it. So it was probably good for my waistline, but, and then I did get a lot of rain the last few days. So there were a couple of storms that were kind of nice to sit on the balcony. That's one of the things, like when you have a balcony, just watching the rain, and yeah, it was nice.
Tea.
Yeah. Made lots of cups of tea, chilled. Merch wise, I got a couple mugs, of course.
Of course.
I don't know why, because
even though you say you're never going to buy
no room. I have no room in the cupboard. There is no room at the inn for any more
but
mugs.
maybe you need to you should donate some of the ones that are your less not so favorite, and then buy more.
I might have to. Well, actually, I got 4 mugs, but 2 of them are travel.
What?
Well, yeah. So our friend, because I mentioned that I wanted the 50th one, the refillable one. Mm-hmm. Well, he saw the 50th one, so he bought me the 2 different colors. So I had those 2, and then I saw 2 other mugs. So I wanted the 100th mug because I didn't get the 50th. Remember, like the 50th regular mug, so I didn't get that one. So I bought the 100th one, and then
the big jumbo one. That's
like
heavy.
Jumbo. It's jumbo. Mm-hmm. Love it. And then I bought the other one that has like Walt's business card on it. I bought that one.
Yeah.
Well, because a friend messaged and said she was looking for it, and it was sold out on Shop Disney. So then when I found it, I'm kind of like, well, I kind of want it too. So then I just bought it. I messaged you, but you said you didn't want it.
I know I didn't want it, but I like the shape of that mug, though. I do like the shape of it.
Yeah, the shape is nice, right?
It's kind of a fun shape.
It is.
It's kind of like a Starbucks mug, but not really, because it's kind of more slenderish and it has a little bit of shape to it. If we were going to talk about the figure of that mug in comparison to a Starbucks mug.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. And then I bought 1 t-shirt. 1.
I liked it though.
It was pretty. It's purple. It's kind of bright, different for me, but not really, I guess. It's just not something I can wear to work at home. Like sometimes I like to get the non like in your face Disney ones, right? But whatever. Because Carrie, I'm telling you, sometimes I go out and I think like it looks like Disney threw up on me. And even like when I was going on my cruise, I was thinking, okay, try not to look so Disney-ish, like Disneyfied, right? There's so many options.
Yeah,
you gotta go buy a wardrobe repertoire, right? So that was a bit of a challenge. But and I did buy. So I actually bought 2 t-shirts. One was for me.
Oh.
One was for a friend.
Oh, fun. She must be a really lucky friend.
Well, these people, I swear, people think we're absolutely bananas. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, because I ran over to Magic Kingdom after hanging with my family at Bay Lake. We had dinner at Steakhouse 71. It was like 8:30, fireworks at 9. I'm like, you know what? I need to see them from inside the park. So I book it over to Magic Kingdom, book it in terms of Fran book it. So which means I just walked quickly. Watch the fireworks. I was standing behind a lovely short little lady. And then her and her husband switched spots.
Spoiler alert, wasn't me.
all I've got in all my pictures is this man's ear. Because I couldn't see. But whatever. I was in the park. You would be impressed, Carrie. They have updated the fireworks show to, and I know you're going to say copy Disneyland, because it basically runs all the way along Main Street, like all of the lights and stuff.
It's on about Main time. Street.
It's about dang time. So that was kind of fun. But anyway, so after the whole point of this story, as I'm babbling, was that after the fireworks, I was like, oh, I'm not going out there and getting on a bus. I'm going to go wander the store. Who goes into the Emporium, Carrie, after fireworks?
No, you shouldn't.
Never.
Because it's chaos.
We have given this tip to many people. Don't
What
do
you should
this.
have done is you should have looked for a park bench and sat. But wait a minute, you're in Florida. You probably wouldn't have found one. But you should have looked for a park bench, maybe wrestled a lady out of an older lady off the bench, so you could have taken the spot and sat there for the crowds to.
Yep.
Wait.
Yep. But I didn't. I went against all of my own advice and I went into the Emporium. Truth be told, it was pretty quiet when I first went in. And then I happened to spot this shirt, the Aristocats.
Mm-hmm. Do tell.
And so I send a picture to Carrie and then she's like, well, what's that? Like, how big is it? How does it hang? What kind of, so then I'm like, okay, I'll just call you. So I have Carrie on video call trying to shop for this t-shirt where I'm trying to hold up the t-shirt to show her, like, what does it look like?
There's like 500 people around you trying to get a t-shirt out of the t-shirt area.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool shirt.
Thanks.
So we worked all that out. I picked that up. I picked up another shirt for me, went to the cash, bought it, and then walked 2 feet and saw the purple shirt and thought, oh no, I prefer that one. So I returned the first one and bought the second one. Then I left, got to the bus thing, saw my bus. I ran, jogged for the bus. And as soon as I get there, the man closes the door. So I'm knocking on the door. I'm like, hello? Please. So he opens the door and he goes, is it just you? I'm like, yeah, just me. And he's like, okay, I think we can squeeze you in. The bus was so packed that they had to move people around to make a little bit of space for me to stand. And I had to promise I'd stay behind the white line. Yeah.
But you got on and you got home.
I got on it and I got home.
Yeah, everybody, next round's on me. She said, bus driver. Stop at the outer rim.
Can you imagine?
Anybody want to get out of Okie West? Drinks on me. So happy to go home.
Yeah,
but Fran, in that situation, if that bus wasn't there, how much would you have paid for a minivan at that moment or a Lyft?
Oh my gosh, probably $40.
That feeling of just wanting to go home, realizing that maybe it wasn't the best idea to go to Magic Kingdom that night. You get all caught. It's happened to me many times. You get caught up in nostalgia. You think, I'm going to close this park down, and then when you're waiting for the buses,
and then your bus and your back and your feet and you're just like, I just want to be in my room. Yeah, if that bus had taken off and I had to wait, I probably would have minivanned it because I didn't have the energy to walk to the hotels to get an Uber and the lines for the monorails and stuff. Oh no.
That's nutty hell. You had sent me pictures or showed me pictures of the lineup.
Well, we were still on video, weren't we? When it came out. When I showed you, did I send you pictures? I might have called you back.
I think you sent me pictures and then showed me the
it was insane. So yeah.
I
did Uber and Lyft quite a bit. Lyft actually, and all of them were great except for one. I had one driver one night, Carrie. I don't know what was he was telling me about how he has breathing. I didn't ask. So FYI, I didn't ask. Maybe I said, how are you? Maybe.
Well,
maybe. But he started.
But he didn't need to tell you his whole medical question.
Oh my
medical history.
He told me how he had breathing difficulties, which is why he didn't work anymore. He used to work in a hotel in downtown Orlando, but they didn't have filtered air, and it was aggravating his breathing. So now he drives Lyft because he can control the air. And how the politicians need to do something about the air in buildings. It was a long drive, and I know a lot more about air pollution and inside. I didn't realize that was a thing, but now I know. But what a Debbie Downer on the end of a park day, and that was all from. And how are you? That. So I was like, okay.
My goodness.
Yeah. But otherwise, all my rides were some lady, no word of a lie, picked me up in my lift in a Jaguar. A Jaguar. Like, what do you tip somebody like that? And do you need to tip them if they're driving a Jag?
Oh,
and why are you driving for Lyft if you have a Jaguar? Is it rented? I had all of these questions and none of them were appropriate to ask.
Maybe you should, though.
Maybe I should have. Yeah.
Well, it's a tax write-off, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. So yeah, so that was kind of our time in Disney together. We had fun. They stayed at Bay Lake Tower until the Wednesday, and then they moved to the beach club for the rest of their time. And so that was easier for them to do Hollywood Studios and Epcot.
Very cool.
Yeah. So that was it. And then I ended up renting a car and driving to Miami and saying goodbye to my family and taking off on my next adventure, which I think we're going to cover like in a whole episode.
You just left them in your dust. You were gone.
Yeah, I love my family. And I'm so glad my sister got back to Disney, and it was so good to see her in her happy place. But I was done with people.
You needed the long drive to Miami.
Oh, Carrie, what a drive, man. I can't even, I got to tell you about the rental car, and that'll all be in the next episode. I got to tell you about the rental car, and yeah. And then the Virgin Voyages cruise. And I feel the need to say Voyages. I can't say the Virgin Cruise because then anyway, Virgin Voyages.
Virgin Voyages.
Yes.
So
yes.
So that's a wrap to your return to Walt Disney World, and I'm sure you'll return sooner than later. You were away for too long.
I know. So I'm already thinking we got some family stuff, not my sister, she's fine. But other stuff I got to be home for. So I'm trying to figure that out. And then I'll be booking my next one. Yeah. Cool. I can't wait. Excellent.
You've been home for
I haven't even been home for 24 hours at this point.
22 and a half hours and you're ready to go again.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That's how it goes.
It is. Did you miss me?
Of course.
Oh,
I was trying to leave you alone so you can enjoy your alone time.
It's not alone.
She wanted to be alone. She wanted to be alone. She needed some time away. She needed some space. So I just let her be alone.
Oh, I missed you, pal.
Well, we're back.
We're back together again. Isn't there a song that I don't know?
Probably lots of them. Together again.
Yeah, where's that from?
It's a Muppets.
Oh God, no.
Anyways.
Oh, okay. It's a Muppets. Oh Lord, it was in my head.
Muppets
Okay.
are awesome.
Yeah. Okay, Carrie.
That is a little bit of one of the episodes I said that Pixie Dust was the new Muppet. Like how there's Muppets on. Yeah, Muppet Mayhem. But since then, there's so much awesome Muppet stuff because of it. Like the way that they put Muppets out, they have GQ did Kermit has 10 things he can't live without. They do that with all the celebrities, 10 things they can't live without. So they did 10 things Kermit can't live without. And what else did they do? They did the one where Kermit goes on also GQ where they go undercover under social media. So they do that with the celebrities. So they did it with Kermit. So there's been a lot of Muppet stuff, and it is just glorious. That's all.
Aw. Oh, I'm so happy for you.
There's so much Muppet stuff right now. So
I did buy you a pin while I was there, but then when I text you and said, "Look what I got you," you're like, "Got it."
Got it. I bought it.
I thought it was new.
It was. When I was at Disneyland, it was new, but I got it.
But that's because Walt Disney World's just slow on the uptake, right?
Everything gets to Disneyland first.
I guess. Yeah.
It does. It does. I think that's a fact.
Yeah. Okay.
A couple weeks later, a month later.
I don't know. Walt Disney World's dragon went on fire first.
That was a different dragon, though. We're talking different dragons here. If we're going to compare, we need to be dragon to dragon. We can't be. I guess they're both Maleficent, though. Are they both Maleficent dragons or just different shows?
Yeah, there you go.
That was kind of sad. Both dragons.
I know.
Instances.
I know. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's that time. Have you got some pixie dust? What brought you joy?
I do. It's something that I didn't think would give me such joy, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I pulled out my luggage, not my little luggage, not Squeaky.
Not the little one.
My regular size luggage. Yeah, my little one's name is Squeaky.
Yes. Because his wheels squeak.
He or she's been known to squeak. In the past.
But you say,
forget, and then it's embarrassing.
It is. Trust me, walking through the airport with Carrie and Squeaky is like, oh my
Anyways,
gosh.
let's not.
Okay. But it wasn't Squeaky. But it's not, when you say your regular size luggage, your regular size luggage is not regular size. It's like a medium size.
It's a checked bag size. Yes.
It's a check bag, but a medium check bag.
So I pulled it out and to just check on it, throw some stuff in it because perhaps there might be a trip in the near future. I opened it up and I threw stuff in it, and then I closed it up, and there's a big long crack in it, and it's a crack like that goes right into my luggage. Now this haze this is old luggage. Like it's been around probably 15 years, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, that's not good. So then I flipped it over and there was a crack on the other side. So the last time I used this was in January. Then before that, I used it in November. So it was like fine. And then all of a sudden, like 2 long cracks. And I just take the stuff out of it and zip it up and stand it up somewhere. Like I don't throw it in a closet. It doesn't go anywhere. So I don't know if it got cracked. And then I just never noticed.
Maybe the cats were having a party, like jumping up and down on it.
No, we can't blame them this time. I zipped it up and had it standing up, so I don't think they did anything to it. So I had to buy new luggage.
Yay! And regular size luggage, Carrie?
I bought a jumbo size luggage. Like I probably could fit in it, honestly. That's how big it might be. And it was it was a nice experience. I ordered the same luggage that you bought because you did. This is what I do. You did all the research. You recently bought luggage. I asked you how much it cost. I went on the Hay site, and I know you bought it from a mom and pop place. I went on the Hay site. It cost the same amount. You did the research. I just went and bought it. So I bought the same luggage as you. I bought it from Hayes.com, Hayes.ca or whatever. And I'm telling you, their service was very interesting. They like text messaged me all day, the day that my luggage was arriving, and like a big Hayes truck pulled up in front of the house and dropped off the package. And inside they gave like a mask, they gave like a full-size sanitizer, they gave you like a little travel size sanitizer with a little note like, have a great trip, Carrie. And they texted me when my stuff got there and was like, have a good trip, Carrie. They were texting me all day, and I thought it would be delivered by UPS or whatever. I didn't know Hayes had trucks and people, and they delivered them themselves. So
that's amazing.
Top-notch service. And the fact, like the way it was packaged, and like I said, they threw extras in there, and like it was pretty nice experience. So I got this big bag. It's like just like I barely need.
Wow.
Like I won't even need to fill one side. Like I keep thinking, well, what could I bring on a vacation now that I've got all this space? Like I can't bring a cat. Maybe I'll bring like 8 pairs of shoes, or
and it's light.
I don't know, like maybe I'll bring some rain boots.
Carrie,
I'm gonna go buy some rubber boots.
I have some if you need some.
But maybe I'll pack some if I'm going to Epcot when it's going to be 3:00 rain. Maybe I'm going to bring some rubber boots.
You could. Absolutely.
I got room for them now.
Carrie, this suitcase is the lightest they have. Like it's so light. It's like 9 pounds. Like I had mine full coming home, and I was still only at 42 pounds. I had 8 whole pounds I could have been working with. Yep.
You threw a cat in there.
Could have.
Not a cat one.
I could have. Well, look at that. I am so
So
proud of you, Carrie.
It gave me pixie dust that I did not expect. I thought it was just going to be a transaction. Take my money, drop off the bags, whatever. But I also must say it was very emotional too, saying goodbye to my luggage that had been with me and truth be told, you know how I found out that it was cracked. I probably wouldn't have noticed because I just probably wouldn't have paid attention. And then I would have found that it was cracked like a day before I was actually going to use it. But I was about to put some more stickers on it. So I had a whole bunch of new stickers and I was ready to I was going to put new stickers on it. And then I applied the stickers and then I was like, say what? What's going on here?
What's this?
So I quickly pulled the stickers off that I just put on so I could put them on another piece of luggage. But it was very sad to say goodbye to it. Like I had a couple moments of silence. We had a little bit of alone time. You know, I had a little, thanked it for
Did you
being
put
there for me.
Stickers on the new one yet?
Not yet, but I did select. So you could get it in teal. You could get it in a really nice purple. You could get it in navy. You could get it in gray. I had the purple one in my cart. I had the teal one in my cart for a little while. Like this is all within 45 minutes, and then I decided to go with the gray one because I thought that the stickers that I'm going to put on it will look better with a gray background.
Absolutely,
the purple might clash with my stickers.
Yeah.
So that's my story. Moment of silence, said goodbye to it, got my luggage.
Love it.
Beautiful. Waiting for stickers.
Love it.
That's it. So that's my story.
Excellent.
Do you get pixie dust?
Very pleased for you.
Yeah. I bet you were probably and you hear the excitement that I have over my new luggage. You were more excited. You were more excited than I was. So imagine that. So
we joked that I was going to say that my pixie dust is that my best friend finally decided to have
a real
big girl luggage.
Big girl luggage.
She decided to get regular people luggage. Can you imagine, Carrie, if you and I go to Disney together, how much stuff we can bring back if we both have those cases?
Sure. All of a sudden, when I first have this new luggage, I think, oh, maybe I should check a bag more often. But then I think, then your best buddy who's sitting at the airport, eagerly watching her phone, making sure her luggage isn't lost. I'm like, Squeaky doesn't do that. Squeaky's always by my side. I don't have to put tags and Squeaky and worry about where she is every second of the trip.
But my luggage always arrives. It always arrives. And
so
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's lots of room. We could probably,
we could bring all sorts of stuff.
Bring all kinds of stuff. Well, maybe we'll just take orders because we're going to have so much.
This is going to work. Woohoo! Awesome. My pixie dust. So before I left, I discovered that I actually didn't need to bring 2 laptops. So I always bring my laptop for Pixie Dust Fan stuff, and then my work Unmagical Job laptop. And for some reason, it never occurred to me to check that webmail and Teams and all of that stuff I can just log into through my Mac, on webmail.
The web browser, webmail version.
Yeah. And it was the night before I was going, and I thought, I wonder what would happen if I tried to, and lo and behold, ta-da! So I only had to bring my laptop, which was great.
That's awesome.
So it saved me a whole bunch of space in my carry-on and a lot of weight in my carry-on because that's heavy when you have 2 laptops. So I only had to do a couple things while I was away, which was great. But I even had a Teams meeting and everything on my Mac on the web browser. So it was very
awesome.
Yeah. So it means I never have to worry about lugging that other one with me. Yay!
Hallelujah!
Hallelujah!
So plan another trip.
Woohoo! So. Carrie, how on earth was this part 2 this long?
Because we just talk about nothing.
I know.
Okay, wrap her up.
I know. So this was good.
Sorry.
Okay, so part 2. This was good. Becky went back. Yay!
All good.
I don't think Gina and Mike are going back anytime soon, but whatever. And next week Or the next part 3 is all about virgin voyages and the last leg of my trip. So we'll see you then. All right.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
Make sure you're following us on your favorite podcast player so you'll get a new episode every week. And find us on social media too. We'd love to hear from you.
Till next time, remember, you are never too old to be young. Chase your dreams and design your own happily ever after.